Today, let's talk about hunting public ground. About 25% of them on my walls in my office actually come from public ground. I've went ahead and for the past 30 some years managed dirt to the point where I have access to hunt way more high quality, tightly managed ground. I don't need to hunt public, okay? But yet I still do. I do for a couple reasons. One, that is where I learn. I'll tell you what, you really want to learn how deer react to pressure? It doesn't happen on Utopia, it happens out on public ground. But here is the other dirty secret of all this. It gives me somewhere else to hunt. Things aren't going well on the managed ground for whatever reason, the farmer's out there doing a bunch of work that's messing up my plans, I can go hunt that public ground. And every single time I hunt public ground, I am again keeping where I hunt, the managed ground, that much more fresh. We go on and on and on and on and on about how pummeled, how absolutely ridiculously pummeled public ground is. The public ground here in Wisconsin, for as much as people complain about it, I didn't see a single person back where I was hunting, and that is the key to successful public ground hunting from my approach. Find those spots where no one else hunts. Get in there well before anybody else even shows up to hunt for that day, and then plop your tail in that spot until you either shoot or daylight ends for that day and you gotta pack it up and go home. And if nothing else, utilize that public ground to take pressure off the ground you manage. None of us can ever have enough places to hunt. Now, you just plain cannot ever utilize public ground. It really isn't pummeled anywhere near as much as we make it seem these days. And at the same time, if you're willing to work a little bit harder than anybody else, you know what, I can all but promise you that 80% of that public ground out there, in my experience, has areas that no one is going except for you.
Final thoughts brought to you by Huntworth.
Hunting public ground may not really seem to be a great fit for the Grow 'em Big series. Guess what? In my opinion, it is a perfect fit because we utilize hunting public ground to keep our managed dirt fresher, and at the same time, I'll tell you what, it is real easy to jump to all sorts of false conclusions when you're hunting Utopia, because those deer, they aren't real deer. They're fantasies that some of us are lucky enough to play around with. The real deer, they're out on that public ground. You want to learn how to hunt deer? That's where you can learn real fast and real well.